Today, we start our lessons on function. What is a function? Let's first talk about general notion. The concept of function is one of the most important concepts in mathematics. It represents a relationship between two variables, typically x and y. In this relation, when one variable changes, the value in the second one changes too. The second one called a function of the first one. We can think of a function as a machine. In a machine, there is an input and an output. You put something in the machine, it produces an output for you. It is not haphazardly. Rather, it is a calculated process. You know that if you put x into a machine, the result would be a y. Think of function as a blender. Let's say this is a blender. Let's assume this is a blender. You put two apples. You put two apples in the blender, you get 1 cup of apple juice. Now, what if you put 4 apples in the blender? Then you get 2 cups of apple juice, right? If you put 3 apples in the blender, what will happen? It produces 1.5 cups of apple juice. So, the blender is a machine. You would know how much apple juice you would get if you put certain amount of apple. Let's use another example. Suppose you have a prepaid phone. For every minute you talk, the company charges you 20 cents. Therefore, the monthly cost is a function of minutes you would use. Let's imagine this is minutes and this is cost. Let's say you talk 150 minutes this year. If you want to calculate the cost of the phone for yourself, you need to times it by 20, then you get $30 per month. So you put the number of minutes in the function, times it by 20, get an output as the cost of your telephone. Let's say you talk 200 minutes. Then you put it in the function. It means 200 times 0.20. Then you get $40 as the cost of your phone. What if you talk 300 minutes per month? Then again, you put it in the function and you times it with the 20 cents per month. You get a bill of $60 as the cost of your phone. So as you can see, for every input there is only one output. That is why a function is always single valued, meaning that to each value of x there is a unique value of y. In a mathematical way, this relation is defined as the relation between two variables. X usually is the variable that represents input and y is the variable that represent output. So let's say this is a function. You put x here, or input, usually represented as x, and output represented as f of x. F of x is the classical way of writing a function. Remember that f of x is the same as y that you know. The parentheses in f of x do not mean multiplication. Remember that. F is a function of the machine. That's what it says. When x goes to the machine, comes out as y value, or f of x. So this is the same as you say y. So we put x in the machine, you get y, or f of x. So f of x shows you the function is called f, and x goes into it. So that means f of x shows you, remember that. So remember that f of x means f is the name of the function and x goes into f. Let's get back to our example. Based on this definition, let's write an equation for our example. We have input, which is minutes talked, equals to x. Then we have function multiply by 0.20. This is our f. And then we have output equals to monthly cost of the phone is f of x. So if you are interested to write a function for the cost of the phone, you can write f of x equals to 0.20 x, which is 0.20 times 150. That equals to $30 per month. Let's say we talk 200 minutes. So we write f of x 0.20 times x, which equals to 0.20 times 200 minutes, and then we'll have a bill of $40 per month. Or let's say we talk 800 minutes, and then we'll have f of x equals to 0.20 x, which is 0.20 times 800 minutes. Then you'll have a bill of $160. Now let's think of a complex situation. Let's imagine that your phone company would charge separately for your texting. Let me make some room here first. So let's imagine that your phone company would charge separately for texting. The company charges you $30 for texting. This is fixed price for texting. And then company will charge you 2 cents per texting. 2 cents per texting. Now, let's write a function for the total cost for your bill only for texting. So there is two components here. We have a monthly charge for testing that is fixed and 2 cents per texting. So we have a number of texts that we send every month. Then that is our input. Then we have a $30 fixed for texting, plus you have a variable 2 cents per text. This is our variable. And now you're interested to know how much is your bill or output. So you have X number of texts you send, and you have f of X, which is your monthly bill, right? So let's write the function. It will be f of X equals to 30 as $30 plus 0.2 cent times X. Now let's say you send 500 texts in a month. Then you will have f of X, which is 500, equals to $30 plus 0.2 times 500. Then f of X for you will be $130. Let's do another example. Imagine you are living in a city like New York that the cost of living is high. One day, you are sitting in your office and suddenly you are thinking to go to a museum. To see a museum, you need to travel to downtown. If you want to take a taxi, the taxi will charge you $3 flat. Then every mile it travels, it charges you $2.5 per mile. The distance from your office to the museum is 24 miles. Now, so you can travel from 24 miles from your office to downtown to see the museum. So write a function for that. You know that your X or your input is number of miles. And then you have your Y or f of X, which is total cost of trip. So how much will cost you to travel from your office to the museum in downtown? You write the function. Let me change the color. And the function is f of X equals to $3 plus 2.5x. Right? Now, f of X equals to 3 plus 2.5 times 24. You multiply these two and then you'll have f of X equals to $60. Now, what if you take taxi from your home that is 15 miles away? Then you write that from home distance is 15 mile distance. So you write f of x equals to $3, which is the same, plus 2.5 per mile, which here is 15. So f of x equals to 3 plus 2.5 times 15. Then f of x for us is, so we multiply these two, and f of x equals to $40.50 for a travel to museum from your home. So this is how we write a function. Not always function is written like this with x and y. You can use other letters like G and M. Doesn't matter what letters you use, but the letters need to be constant. Sometimes a function has no name and you might see something like y equals to x to the second power. This is still a function. Why is that? Because you have an input, x, which is squared, is your input. The input is squared, so this is a relation, and you have y, which is output, so there is a function. Whenever you have three elements, x or input, function or relation, f of x or y or output, then you have a function. So these three elements is important to remember and look for them whenever you are looking for a function.